Another thing that to be mindful of if you're the organization, if you're the assessor, is that certain industry regulations may apply to your systems. If you happen to do a state or federal organization that's doing finances, you might be subject to something called Sarbanes-Oxley or PCI. If your organization is taking credit cards or debit cards or something, and you're using those little systems, those little card reading systems, then PCI compliance is gonna be a factor for you. If you happen to be in the financial healthcare system, if you're in the healthcare system, HIPAA laws are gonna apply to you. That's protection of people's healthcare information, whether it's digital or printed out on paper. There's certain things that you have to be compliant with, and that means the assessment will have some little different things in there that are looking for HIPAA compliance or Sarbanes-Oxley compliance. And then another one is privacy. Privacy is a big one. Like I said about California, California has its own privacy laws. The private sector might also use another standard, such as CIS controls. CIS controls are very similar to NIST controls. So a lot of times there's a lot of overlap between them, and if you're meeting the NIST standards, you are in fact meeting the CIS controls, or you are in fact meeting the ISO 27001 controls. There's other frameworks that overlap, but sometimes it's enough for you to just know what those frameworks are so that you know that you're in compliance with those things. Those might come into play when you're doing your assessment. So that's something to keep in mind if you're coming from the perspective of an assessor who's in the organization, or you're an outside assessor looking in to this healthcare system and you have to look at things like HIPAA.